Good evening, y'all, and welcome to Apron Strings. Welcome back to Apron Strings, gang. It's like been 8 or 9 days since I've had a video, and a whole lot's happened in that 8 or 9 days. Troy is home from the hospital. He's able to take a deep breath for the first time in I don't know when. He's not running any races, but he's so much better than he was. He did not have a heart attack. He had infection in the lining around his heart. So it took antibiotics and drawing fluid off of him and then trying to get his blood sugar regulated, and we're still working on that, y'all. That's a chore for me because the way I cook, he's not supposed to eat any of it. So I'm having to try to redo some recipes and try some new stuff, and basically anything that's pretty good he can't have. But anyway, today, and this is not for him today, this is something I ran across and I won't. I'm going to make an herb bread in my Zozarushi bread machine, and it's a recipe out of the Ultimate Bread Machine cookbook. And we're going to run outside and clip some herbs and come back in and get them all chopped up, and then I'll get everything pre-measured and weighed. I like to weigh it, and then we'll get it into the machine, and it'll take it about 3 hours to cook. Then I'll show y'all what it looks like. When it cools enough, I'll put me some butter on a piece of it and eat it. Thank God I don't have to worry about blood sugar. I can have bread. He can too. We just have to figure it in. But he don't like herbs, so he's not going to like this bread. But anyway, I'm going to go clip some, I've already got basil cut. I've cut a bunch of basil I'm going to chop it up in olive oil and freeze it so I'll have it for recipes. So I've got my basil already, but I got to go get a little bit of rosemary and a little bit of oregano, and then we'll get the bread going. Let me tell y'all, thank you for every email, every comment on the community tab, all of the encouragement, every prayer that's gone up for Troy. I appreciate it, and I'm hoping we're back to normal and I can be back on here with some good recipes. I got some good stuff to cook now. I'm going to cook it and I'll share it with the neighbors or somebody, because Troy's not supposed to eat everything I've got under my thinking cap that I'm going to do. But thank y'all for all your love and care, and I appreciate it. I feel like we're one big family, and that's why I wanted to share that we're home and doing better. And I'm just anxious to get this loaf of bread made so I can have some for supper tonight. So let's go clip some rosemary and get a little glimpse of the garden, and then we'll come back in and get the bread going. Okay, y'all, it's very hot, and you might not can hear me for the air conditioner. This is where I first come out the back door. You can see my plants have grown right here along the house. And I'm just going to give you a little turnway right here, and then we'll see to the other side. Okay, there's some more of the blue basil. This is a tomato plant. My dill is in the middle of this bed, tomato plants right here on here. Then I've got dill and some more African blue over there. Running beans on that arch with beans in the bed. You can see my 4 o'clocks right here. After a while, they'll be in full bloom. Big yellow flowers, and it's pretty. Here I have jalapenos, and I have quite a few peppers on the vines. Just a minute, let me tighten it up. I don't know if I can get it where y'all can see the peppers or not, but I do have peppers. See, there's one. There's a bunch down in there. That one's got 3 or 4 on it. I've got quite a few peppers in there. And then on the end of the pepper bed right here is little bitty peppers to make pepper sauce with. So there's the 4 o'clocks. And then my cucumbers over there are wilted. I water in the afternoon, so it's time to water here in a minute. I had to take out some of my yellow squash. They gave me the wrong thing. It looked like it had warts on it, and it wasn't straight neck, it was crook neck. My zucchini, I think I'm going to get some more off of it. I'm not sure. I did thin it to aerate it. I read that would help with the powdery mildew, which I had to deal with. Over here, in this bed right here, is brown crowders, And then as you can see on over there, there's another bed right there. That is pink-eyed purple hulls. And then I have some eggplants. Let me show you my eggplants. I hope you can see the eggplants. Let me get over here and see if I can point them out to you. See, down in there I have a bunch, and then there's some more over there. I hope you can see those. I can't really see. It's so bright out here till I can't see and tell what's going on. But I'm just gonna give y'all a quick little view of everything from over on this side. This is pimentas and bell peppers that's not doing very well as far as producing. And that's those pink-eyed purple hulls. And there's my cucumbers on the trellis. And then in the background over there, I'm going to get closer to where you can see all of my tomato plants. Okay, I've got tomato plants all up and down here. And they've got, most of them have tomatoes on them. I didn't fill that bird feeder that you can see for obvious reasons. Then I have tomato plants all the way on down to the chicken coop. We'll go down there in a minute. This is another raised bed. And that's green beans with tomatoes in each end. And I've already picked a big mess of green beans, and I'm ready to pick some more to either put in the freezer because I'm not having enough to can, or I will just go ahead and cook them. I'm going to give y'all a view from another side. Over there, the red door is what we came out a while ago. So you can come out there and up here to where I'm at now. Or you can go around whichever way you want to, but it is sprinkling on me, and I love every drop of it. So here's the one that had the beans and tomatoes in it. There's the one with the dill. This was garlic, and this one with the chicken standing up in it. I've already harvested, and it didn't do too pretty. This is mint, and there's my blue shoes that everybody likes. In the back area over there, I have tomato plants, and then I have green beans. And I have green beans here and cucumbers on the arch going up around them. Okay, here's the tomato plants that are in front of the chicken house. I'm so proud of them. They're all doing so good. They're beautiful. And then this is going back to what we've already looked at, and they go way on down to the other end of my garden area. I rooted a bunch of pieces of the rose bush. Now, what was it? Peggy Martin. I've got a bunch of rootings from it. Plus, I have another one over here. This is my garden from the far side over by the... Oh, look at this trellis here that we just put up. This right here. This is for berry vines, and I've got 3, and I'm fixing to get 3 more, and I'll have blackberry vines back here. But this is what my garden looks like. Looking at it from over here, over to the, you see the red door, and then this is my little sitting area. And I'm going to get closer where you can see what I've got planted along the back of the screen room. I've got an airplane plant on a plant stand, ferns. And then I've got a whole bunch of purple dew that I have potted to make baskets out of. This would be better if I did it that way, wouldn't it? So let's go back. There's all my baskets of dew. Ferns, some holly fern, some, I forgot the name of that one in pots, a Boston fern, and then some more holly fern, a mixed basket of airplane plant and dew, and then we called them Mexican hydrangeas, but that's not what they are. I found out their true name. They grow, the roots run under the ground, and they make beautiful big pink blooms that look like a hydrangea, and I've got those everywhere. Here's my tomatoes that are over here in the raised bed. And they're doing really good too. I got lots of tomatoes. Then that pot right there is lemon balm. I got my pea gravel. I'll tell you what, this was a chore, but it's worth it. I love having my walkways covered with pea gravel. This is my other walkway, sitting area that y'all have seen. That the ginger came back over there behind that area. That's an elderberry tree right here that's growing up. My big airplane plant, and then my plant stands have pots that I potted because I refused to pay the price for bought pots this year. Then this over here, here's my hydrangeas, and they're wilted, but they were covered in blooms. I water every day, usually morning and evening, and they still wilt. But they're bigger than they've ever been, and I just wanted to show y'all what they look like. Here's my banana trees. I have a whole line of them. And then this is shrimp plant and those Mexican hydrangeas that have come up voluntarily. Sometimes I pull them up by the roots, and sometimes I leave them. And this is another one of my walkways. These are some more baskets that I potted that you can see up. They're looking really good. Here's some more hydrangeas growing right over here. You might not can see them right in there. That's that other sitting area with the hammocks. Some more plants. This is just backyard garden. I'm just showing y'all around a little bit. Now we'll go over to where I can clip some herbs. But I've got the pea gravel all the way out. This is the gates where Troy can get in and out with his tractor. And I'm thankful to have my pea gravel down. I'm going to clip some of this oregano, and I should have made my mind up to do that this morning when it was cooler out here. I don't know, that one's flowering, but we're going to try it. And if it doesn't, that's enough because I don't need a whole lot. And I need some rosemary. I just need about a couple of tablespoons of it. If that's not enough, I'll come back and get some more or use some dried from inside. This is chairs that didn't have bottoms in them, and so I put pots down in them and made like a little chair garden here. And this is pineapple sage right here. And in this urn right here is thyme. And then just random stuff. I love having the ginger as a backdrop for my sitting area there. This place brings me so much peace. Let me see if I can zoom up on my althea bush that's blooming over here. Let me see if I can find it right here. It's pretty. It was loaded with blooms. This is a horseradish plant, and you just get horseradish in the store and lay it on the soil, and it will take root and grow. Something's been eating its leaves. I'm going to have to put something on it, maybe neem oil, I'm not sure what. But I wanted to have turmeric, ginger, and horseradish growing. So I'm thankful for that. In fact, my friend Cindy is the one that got this one going and gave it to me. Okay, when you're using your bread machine, you want to, generally if you're using a bread machine cookbook, the ingredients are listed in the order that you put them in. But you always want to put your liquids in first. So I need 1.5 cups of water, 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and I have put all of that in one thing together here. Then I need to add 4 cups of bread flour. Scoot that around a little bit. And my bread maker pre-warms everything. So I don't, if I were going to put cold butter in, I could just put it in now because I don't have to warm anything up in it. Okay, the next thing I need is 1½ teaspoons of sugar, and I'm going to put that on that end. And I need 2 teaspoons of salt and a teaspoon of pepper, and I'm going to put that on that end. I learned that from Ellen over at Ellen's Bread Machine and Bread Baking. She has wonderful recipes. She has a YouTube channel, and you need to look her up. And she gives you a lot of good tips, and I've used a lot of her recipes that are good. Now we're going to put in all of our herbs, which is rosemary, oregano, and basil, and I added some onion and garlic to mine, onion and garlic powder. And I'm just going to sprinkle them around a little bit where maybe they'll disperse a little better. And then right here in the middle, I'm going to put my 2 1/4 teaspoons of yeast. And now what I'm going to do is put this over into the zozarushi. I'll move y'all over there where you can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm just going to put it in until I hear it snap. Okay, it's in good. I'm going to close it and plug it in. And I'm going to choose my course. It's going to be number 1, which is white bread. And I'm going to tell it to start. This machine actually warms everything up, and it's going to take, I forgot how long, maybe 20 minutes to get everything warm, and then it'll start mixing it and kneading it. So we'll be back in a little bit, but it's going to take about probably 3 hours to make it. So, okay, the bread machine has started to mix everything up. It's been letting it heat for 30 minutes, right at 30 minutes. So I'll bring y'all back when there's something else going on. Okay, the bread's done its first rise, and now it's punched it down, or it's fixing to punch it down, and then it'll do a second rise. You can't see in there, I'm sorry. I guess I'm not doing real good. I forgot to show y'all when it was rising, but it's nearly to the top and it's baking now. So the next thing y'all will see is a pretty loaf of bread. This bread machine is absolutely awesome. You just put your wet ingredients in first, then your dry ingredients, and punch a button, and you choose which, they call it coarse, which is white, wheat, that kind of decision. And then it stirs it up, kneads it, lets it rise, punches it down, lets it rise again, and then bakes it. It's an awesome machine. Okay, I just got it out of the bread machine, and I'm going to put it here on this to cool. And you want to immediately get your paddles out or put water in there so that you can get them off, or if there's dough around them, they'll stick. So I'm going to put some water in there to soak right quick. And then while this is cooling, I'm going to go finish watering my tomato plants, and then I will be back in and show y'all what it looks like when I cut some of it. Hey y'all, I'm through watering the garden, and I probably look like the last rose of summer. That's what I feel like. Look at this big old loaf. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this. It's huge. So I'm going to cut a piece that'll equal 2 or 3 pieces. See the herbs in it? And I'm going to cut me a piece off of that to taste. Get me some butter. I have some Kerrygold, but it's frozen. So I'm just going to use regular butter. And this is a Rada bread knife, and they are fabulous. Not real expensive, but they cut really well. That's good. There's just a faint hint of the herbs that's in it. It's very good. That would be so good with spaghetti or something like that. I screenshot both recipes, the 1.5 and the 2 pound. This was the 2 pound loaf. So if y'all try it, let me know what you think. You could put your own herbs in it. The only thing I did different, I added onion and garlic powder. Aren't you surprised? Anyway, if any of y'all have any tips about menus or sugar-free, low-sodium desserts or dishes that I could fix for Troy, if you will email me, I would so appreciate it. This is a whole new ball game for me, and I want him to be as healthy as he can be. So that's what I'm working on right now. But I'm going to be canning some stuff to put in my pantry, and I'll film that when I get enough to can something. My tomatoes vines are full. So when I get together my tomatoes, I'm going to make salsa, and then I'm going to can whole tomatoes. So we've got some canning videos coming up. I just don't know how soon. But I'm going to try to be back once or twice or 3 times a week, however much I can. Got a lot going on. But I don't want y'all to forget about me. So I'm going to keep showing up here as often as I can. Y'all, it's hot and it's miserable. Don't take any chances on your health. Stay hydrated if you're where it's so hot. Indoors through the heat of the day. That's a good time to be inventorying your pantry and seeing what you need to add. With diesel like it is and the cost of gasoline and transport, I'm afraid we're going to have some empty shelves. And don't wait till it's too late and then think you're going to run get it and it's not there, and then you think you're going to borrow from your neighbor and they're not going to be willing to share. So get your own stuff together and do it in a hurry, because I think time's running out on that, the shelves being stocked. Don't forget to give the good Lord praise and thanks for what He's done for us, His protection and His provision. Do your part and trust Him to help you make wise decisions, and that He'll help you stretch it when and if that time comes. All right, folks, I'm fixing to turn in for the night. I'm tired, and I've got a long day tomorrow, but I will try to be back in a day or two with another video. The good Lord bless and keep y'all, and thank you for hanging in there and waiting on me. I appreciate it. Hey y'all, it's actually the next morning, but I wanted to tell you, if you want to make this bread, you don't have to have a bread machine. You just mix it like you would normally mix your bread. Put all your ingredients in your bowl, mix it really well, cover it and let it rise the first rise, punch it down, put it in your pan, let it rise the second rise, and then bake it. I don't know what temperature, I'd say around maybe 400 for 20 minutes, 375 to 400, but just watch it. But you can bake this in a regular baking pan instead of doing it in the zozurushi. A lot of times I'll let it mix my dough, and then I take it out on the second rise for the second rise and shape it and put it in my pan and bake it in my oven. So just a heads up, if you want to make the bread, it's not totally a bread machine recipe. You can make it as you usually make your bread and bake it. But let me tell you, I made me a piece of toast with it this morning for breakfast, and it is so very good. The herbs don't overwhelm the flavor, but they just add a nice little taste to it. The Lord bless y'all, and I'll be back in a day or two.